Hi there, my name is Robin, but most people can call me Kit, and these videos are going to cover the basics of Don't Starve. Don't Starve is described as an uncompromising wilderness survival game from Klei Entertainment. It's been live about 3 weeks at the time of this recording, after an extensive beta that saw a lot of changes and additions. So if you used to play it before and you haven't played it in a while, you may want to come back. A lot's changed. You can download this game from Steam or on Google Chrome for $14.99. Personally, I prefer Steam as it seems they get their updates out quicker. And yes, Kevin and the team are still going to be doing regular updates. As you can see from the starting screen, on the left, down here in the corner when the updates are coming due, and up here on the right, they sometimes give you a tidbit of what's coming in the updates or a link to your forums where you guys can discuss them. Okay, now to get started with the basics. When you get to the start screen menu, you have the options of changing the settings. You can look through all those. I'm not going to cover each individual one. We're going to click on play. If you just got here, your game, your only option in characters selection is Wilson. The other characters are unlocked either with XP gains, by surviving in Don't Starve, or by other ways that we'll cover as we get to each individual character one by one. Now we'll start with Wilson. Wilson is your basic character with 150 hunger, 150 health, 200 sanity. His buff is he grows a magnificent beard. What kind of buff is that, you may ask? Well, his full beard keeps him warmer in winter for longer, and as long as he doesn't shave it, that is. The shavings from shaving his beard are a craftable resource, which we will cover later. Our first unlockable character with XP is Willow, our fire starter. She has the same basic 150 health and hunger and 200 sanity as Wilson does. Her buff is she's immune to fire damage, and she sets fires in the dark. Both are pretty good buffs if you find yourself at nightfall with no resources to make a torch. Just be careful what you're standing next to. Unfortunately, her affinity for fire makes her more susceptible to freezing in the wintertime. Wendy is the second character unlocked with XP. And again, she has the same hunger, health, and sanity buffs as the others. Her buff is she has visitors at night. Her visitor is her twin sister Abigail, who periodically appears at dusk and follows Wendy around till dawn. Now, if Abigail was more of a guardian spirit or took an active role in defending Wendy, she would, instead of just being a general nuisance, she would be more noteworthy. Do be warned, however, though, as with most ghosts, Abigail can do damage to Wendy if you run into her. Our next character unlockable through XP is Wolfgang the Strongman, and he is considered by most to be the easiest character to play. This is because his hunger and health are 225 instead of the others 150, but his sanity is still 200. His buff besides health and hunger is he hits harder. Approximately 150% of the damage that the others do. So, for example, the other three would need to hit a normal spider 3 times with a spear to kill it. Wolfgang can kill the spider in 2 hits. Our next unlockable character with XP is WX78, the soulless automaton or robot. He has the same basic 150 health and hunger and 200 sanity as most of the other characters. His buff is he has no reduced effect from eating stale or spoiled food. Rotten food is not considered a resource, just an FYI. This is a benefit for when you have oversupplied yourself with food or you are running into spoilage issues. Other times, or most times, not overly noteworthy buff, but he's fun to play. Our last character unlocked with XP is Wickerbottom, the librarian. She has the same basic health and hunger and sanity points at 150 and 200 as most of the rest of the characters. Her buff is a bonus tech level, and this is a huge buff in early game when resources are scarce. She can craft from day 1 what all the other characters need a level 1 science machine to craft. Like I said, this is a huge buff in early game, but it becomes somewhat less useful as gameplay goes on. Now, the first specialty character is Wes. He is only unlockable by rescuing him in adventure mode, and he is considered hardcore. His base hunger and health is 113, and his base sanity is 150. That is he starves faster and he goes insane faster, so he has a hard time staying alive. His buffs are more debuffs than buffs, as you can see. He does not speak. He is a mime after all. He also takes more damage, and his hits are weaker than all the rest of the characters. Personally, I would only play him once you are familiar with how Don't Starve works. There is one more character available at the moment, but I am not giving out any spoilers here, and I would prefer if none of you do in the comments. He is only unlockable when you beat adventure mode, and I have not beaten adventure mode yet, as I got my butt whooped on World 5. Now to world customization. There are two presets to possibly choose at the beginning, the first being the default, which is the one I'll be playing through in the tutorials. The second is Default Plus, which is basically a quicker way to get to a more difficult world. You may, however, want more customization, and you can have it. If you find yourself struggling for food, you can choose to set that at a higher value. Almost everything is customizable. Look over here at this menu. Everything is here. Food, touchstones, world size, the amount or frequency of winter, rain, lightning, how many boons. Boons are free loots. Your starting seasons, your animals and general meat sources can be customized as well as monsters and other hostile entities. Your resources, depending on how you want to play your game or your personal play style or preference, can be the amounts can be changed. Right now we are just going to start with the default world. Once you're done picking your character, if you have those options, or customizing your world, you'll click Start, and this will start your world generation. And we're herding trees and generating monsters. This is Maxwell. He's the one who's trapped you here. He says you better find something to eat before night comes. Very good advice, just as a matter of fact. Now, there are a few things you need to note in your UI. First, if you look in this upper right corner, this tells you what day you're on, what world if you're in adventure mode, your length of your day-night cycle, and also the weather. Now, yellow obviously is during the day, the reddish-orange is the evening, and the blue is nightfall. The three status circles underneath are your health, or your hunger, your health, and your sanity, and we're going to spend a little time here. Your hunger drops about 1 point every 5 seconds. The only way to restore hunger is by, you guessed it, eating. Some foods have different hunger values than others, and we'll discover that as we go along. Your health meter is next. Your health meter drops when you take damage from enemies, when you are starving, if you are freezing or burning, unless of course if you're Willow, and eating certain foods can also drop your health, and we'll get into that more when we discuss hunger values. The last is your sanity, and this stays neutral during the day if it's sunny, with no sanity boosting devices at all. Many things do affect your sanity. Sanity boosts mostly come from craftable items, which we'll cover later when we cover crafting. Dusk, night, close proximity to hostile mobs, certain foods, rain, snow, and wormholes all have negative effects effects on your sanity. Picking flowers is the easiest way to regrow or to regen sanity, but please be very careful. Flowers are a very slow renewable resource. We'll cover how to renew them a little bit quicker in a future episode. Next, at the bottom, we have your inventory. Each of these slots is controlled by the corresponding number on your keyboard, even though the hotkeys aren't marked. Pressing the appropriate hotkey will equip or use the selected item. Inventory management is especially important in the beginning of the game. As you see, you don't have very many slots, 15. This is equipping a weapon here. This is equipping armor or a backpack here, and then you have a slot for something on your head. Now to the left here, we have our crafting interface. And as you can see, we have very few things that are available at the beginning. As you collect resources, the spots will turn green and you've gathered enough to craft something. You can expand the number of things you can craft by building higher and higher levels of science machines, unless you have the librarian, because she can do this basic science machine stuff from day one. Now for controls, you can move your character using the WASD keys by clicking somewhere on the map, or by holding down your right mouse button and dragging your character along. Interaction with items in your environment will have a lot to do with what tool you have equipped at the time. If you don't have the proper tool equipped, then examine it will be the left mouse button default. You can chain actions together by holding down the space bar. But be warned, however, if there is a hostile in the area, attack is the default, no matter what you have equipped. You also have very little control over what you pick up. Sometimes individually clicking on items is more efficient. Now we'll discuss down here, just really quick to end this up. We show here, you see here, your axe with durability. Most things you equip on your person or use will have a durability that slowly goes down. Pay attention, some durability is on use and some durability will deplete just by equipping. Also, we have these green squares here. A green square shows an edible resource. You right click to eat. See, as the green bar comes down, that means it is beginning to spoil. When it gets to halfway, it will turn yellow. That is considered spoiled, and you get less health benefit from eating it. When it gets down to 1/4, it will turn red, and that is considered, if it's yellow, it's stale. When it's red, it's considered spoiled. Stale and spoiled foods give you less health and hunger benefits when eaten. Well, that ends the basics. Next time we'll jump in and we'll start with how to survive and thrive. You have a great day, and feel free to like or to leave a comment below, or just give suggestions or ask questions on what you'd like me to answer in a future episode. Thanks, and have a great day.